2019 was a busy year for the city of Isle of Palms. I sit down exclusively with Councilmember Susan Hill Smith for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and download my free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. Susan Hill Smith, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
It's great to see you again in 2020.
Always. Obviously, you are a council member for the city of Isle of Palms.
Yes.
You talk about 2020. Obviously, you all had a big year in 2020 when it comes to the city of Isle of Palms.
We do have a lot of things going on, that's for sure. And we're excited about some of the steps that we've taken to help clean up our beaches, among other things.
Among other things, let me take you to sustainability that is in the environment, because the city of Isle of Palms posted it on the Isle of Palms website just recently says this: you all prohibited the distribution at point of sale and use of single-use plastics and styrofoam products on the beach starting on January 1st, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
From January 1st to right now, how is the city enforcing this?
Well, I think as we get started, really what we're trying to do is it's all about education. So I think, we'll start out more with warnings. It's not really about trying to give as many tickets as possible as it is trying to change behavior. And right now the traffic on the beach is not that high. So it's something that I think we'll see a lot more discussion about and focus on as the beach season heats up.
Heats up.
Yes.
Where should that discussion go right now in your mind?
Well, really, we want to get a lot of attention to the fact that we have these new rules and help the public know about them. So as you mentioned, it's not just, we're not just restricting these things at point of sale. Say, for example, when a business has a to-go container, we don't want that to be styrofoam. And we've asked businesses, we've put those restrictions in place for them, but we are also asking beachgoers to do the same and not bring straws, stirrers, styrofoam containers, and that would include coolers, styrofoam coolers. We want people to leave those at home, as well as balloons and and plastic bags. Right. So what we're really hoping is that people will shift and get that into the mindset of bringing reusables instead. Right. So reusable bags. Right. Reusable water bottles, even though water bottles isn't something that we've restricted. We want people to remember that when they're coming to the beach, even if they don't say plan to litter, sometimes it can be accidental. A good example of this is at the beach, we find like hundreds to thousands of wrappers from juice boxes, from the straws that come with them. We find even more of those wrappers than we do the straws themselves. Clearly, that's something that is probably getting away from people and getting away from kids as they're fumbling to try and get that straw into the box. So that's one thing that we just rather people would leave at home and instead bring a reusable drink container. And to that effect, we have also added a water bottle filling station at Front Beach. So that's one way we're trying to help facilitate that. And I know, obviously, when it comes to prohibiting smoking cigarettes, cigars, pipes, and vaping devices on the beach, obviously to access beach paths, how are you guys facilitating that? Well, I mean, it's in the same vein, but it is definitely, it's a different approach. So we're not telling people they can't have cigarettes on them, but we're asking people not to smoke. But the main goal is to prevent the litter that comes with cigarettes. So I can tell you a little bit about the statistics that we've been able to generate with the help of the South Carolina Aquarium's conservation team. I helped found a group called Isle of Palms Cleanup Crew. That's right. And we were doing weekly sweeps at the beach during the busy season and monthly sweeps in the off season. Our first year, we collected more than 23,000 pieces of trash and documented it with the aquarium team's help. This year, we collected 25,000. And then the aquarium actually worked with other groups and people that also documented their trash collection on Isle of Palms. So this past year, it was more than 50,000 pieces of trash were documented being collected on Isle of Palms. And of that, about 25 to 28% are cigarette butts.
Okay.
So that's a lot of cigarette butts. That's close to 15,000 cigarette butts that we collected. A lot in that front beach area
Right.
that's heavily trafficked.
Sure.
So a lot of people don't realize that cigarette butts, not only do they contain toxic chemicals, they also contain plastic threads. So they are not biodegradable, and it is troubling to think about that leaching into our environment for the sake of wildlife and people. So really, we're just trying to get the word out, trying to get people to realize that that is a harmful trash for the environment, and as a result, we're just asking people not to bring cigarettes and other smoking devices onto the beach at all. Those other things like cigars and even vaping devices can also lead to trash that is harmful to the environment as well.
And obviously, when you talk about the environment, the city of Isle of Palms basically say, "Hey, no to offshore drilling."
Oh yeah, well, we have definitely made that stand along with, I think, all of our other coastal communities in South Carolina. We are happy. I mean, the news that is coming out, it looks good that we're going in the right direction in preventing that.
Sure.
But it's, that fight's not completely over. So we definitely want to be consistent in saying we don't want drilling. It's too risky for the health of our environment, the health of our people that live here and our coast. And also, to be quite honest, we rely on tourism for a lot of our tax dollars, especially in our community. And if that is a threat to potential business that comes, if we had an oil spill, it could really have a huge impact on our local economy. And it's not worth that risk.
You talk about that fight. How much energy does the city have left for this?
Well, that's not something that we're as day-to-day involved with.
Okay.
We've thrown our support behind, I think, some different groups that are more actively engaged, but we're definitely, want our voice heard. And, I would encourage anybody who does feel strongly about that to contact their senators and representatives and make sure that they know how important it is to our community to stop offshore drilling.
And obviously, the city of Isle of Palms wants the community's voice to be heard when it comes to, obviously, the vision for the new Isle of Palms Marina.
Mm-hmm.
What is the city's vision right now in your mind?
Well, we are actually on Thursday, we're getting ready to have a community session, inviting residents to talk in a more discussion environment. It's going to be set up with tables so people can engage in conversation, different than a usual city council meeting where citizens have a chance to stand up and make comments, but it's much more formal. So on Thursday, this is going to be more conversational and allow people to talk about what is most important to them that they want to see at the marina. We have only a certain amount of space and parking that we can accommodate. And there's different things that different people want to see there. So we kind of need to prioritize and find out more what is most important to the community as we make some decisions about our upcoming leases with different businesses that we have there.
And you talk about those upcoming leases. How many leases are we talking for those particular businesses?
So there's the marina store and the marina operator, which is actually the same entity, runs both of those things. And then within that, he has subleases with a lot of different other businesses. Okay. For example, eco tours and that kind of thing. And then there's the restaurant. And then we also have a separate lease with Tidal Wave Water Sports. And that is also coming up for discussion. So, and has been an issue that has been in the news a lot lately.
And I want to go back over to what you talked about as far as the restaurant, because apparently the city says that they're soliciting proposals and began negotiations for a new lease for the Avocado Arena restaurant. What proposals are ideal for the city right now in your mind?
Well, we have a great proposal that we're looking at from a group that I think is really great because they are residents of the Isle of Palms, but they also have the expertise of being involved with successful restaurants in the area. So that looks like it has a lot of good potential, but we're going to have to work out the details. They put forth a really dynamic plan for changing both the orientation of the restaurant so that it would look out on the water and have a lot of outdoor seating, but would still have that nice island laid back feel, so that you could go out for a nice dinner, but you could also, maybe take a date, or you could take your family, offering some variety of different price points, I think. So hopefully we'll see where that goes. It's not official yet. We are in negotiations and haven't made any final decisions, but I think that looks like it could be a really good fit.
And I want to go back to the marina, Susan, because obviously, there's some people want to know this. I'm pretty sure they do. But when you talk about the Marina Plant, how soon was the RFP sent out in your mind?
So this is, we've been talking about that. It's been ongoing for several months now, and it was this fall that even maybe towards the end of the summer, I think. I'm sorry, I don't have the dates.
No worries.
And we are working with a consultant who was encouraging proposals, and we only got 3. There are some, challenges that come with that particular site because of its location. It's a little bit of a drive to have staff come get to, and we have some parking limitations. So that may have impacted why we didn't get more proposals than 3. But I think we have a really good, viable option that we're pursuing. So if that doesn't work out, we might need to rethink. But for the moment, we seem to have, like I said, a good option that we can pursue.
And how was that process like in the beginning?
In terms of, our lease was coming, the marina restaurant lease was coming to a point where we needed to decide whether to renew or not. And we did, one of the 3 proposals that we got was from the owners of Morgan Creek Grill, which was the current owner. Or not, I shouldn't say owner, the current tenant.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. And obviously, let me move over to your time here with the City of Isle of Palms as council member. I know you were telling me you've been on council for 2 years now, I believe?
Right. So I'm starting my 3rd year.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is the biggest difference between when you started to right now in your mind?
Well, that's a good question. I guess I feel like I have I've been doing a lot of learning, a lot of learning curve. So I feel maybe a little more assured at this point, but still can't say that I know everything.
Sure.
But maybe a little more confident. About, I'm not the newest person there anymore.
And speaking of which, obviously, I just interviewed Rusty Streetman on Friday.
Oh, did you? Great.
Yes, ma'am. And, obviously you have a new city council. How do you hope to work with them going forward?
Well, I've realized too that you can have a lot of great ideas, and unless you can convince other people that they are great ideas, you're not going to get very far. So we really do need to work together, and I think that's really important, and hope that we are going to be able to continue to find that common ground to get things done. We have gotten a lot of things done in the past 2 years. We have hired a new police chief and a new city administrator. Yeah. They're both fantastic, but we spent a lot of time on that, and I think it was worth it.
Okay.
We've set some great plans in place for solving drainage problems, which is going to continue to be an issue for us, especially with rising sea levels and climate change. Isle of Palms has always had challenges with drainage, but they are getting worse, and we are finding some solutions for that. So at least that we hope will solve the current problems and put us in better position for the challenges of rising sea levels in the future.
And
Those are some of the things that we've been doing, and I think doing together as a council and in agreement that these are important issues that we need to really focus on.
and you talk about those solutions. Where's the infrastructure for this money to combat climate change?
Well, we are fortunate in that we do have healthy budget, healthy balances. We draw from accommodations funds. I don't believe are able to directly apply that to drainage, but it can help pay for other things in our budget so that we can then pay for drainage in other ways. But we've made a commitment, and it's not inexpensive. But we know that without solving some of these problems, our properties will be at risk, and also our future as a community could be really challenged seriously if we don't take care of things like drainage. One way or another, we're going to have to find the money to make those fixes.
And what is the quality of life right now in the city of Isle of Palms?
It's super. It's people really, I think, recognize what a wonderful place it is to not just visit, but also to live and raise a family. We have a great balance between the residential, long-standing residential community, as well as the vacationing community. And I think there's always going to be a little bit of tension between the two, but it's a wonderful place to be, and I think everybody respects that. And we definitely have an engaged community, and I love that. We get lots of feedback from our residents, and I think that's a good, healthy thing as we move forward and try to meet some of these challenges and also just make living there even better.
Even better. And I know next door, obviously, I spoke with Sutherland's Island Mayor Pat O'Neill just on last week, Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, the big topic there is about Dominion Energy and the Palmetto trees.
Oh, right.
How would the Isle of Palms tackle an issue such as that?
We had a forum or an invitation for people to come and talk with Dominion Energy at the Isle of Palms Rec Center ahead of when they came to do their tree cutting of more of the live oaks and that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't heard from them if they have plans, specific plans about taking out palmetto trees. I hope that can be minimal if needed. I know that people have a really strong emotional attachment to trees,
right.
And as much as Dominion Energy will tell you it's necessary for the sake of the power lines and safety, it is difficult to look at after they get done, and you see, a big piece of the tree taken out. So, yeah, that's a hard issue, and like I said, I hope they don't have to take out many palmettos on Isle of Palms.
On Isle of Palms. I have to make this big disclaimer because obviously you were my old boss at the Coastal 4 years ago. How did I do? I don't know.
I did great. I expect nothing less. No, you have great questions. You're surprisingly well informed about Isle of Palms issues and on top of it. I appreciate that. You really are.
Oh, thank you.
And there's a fair amount of complicated things going on. It's not easy to really get to the bottom of it very quickly. So, yeah.
If you were Susan Hill Smith as a newspaper reporter 20 years ago and these issues were to come up, how would you write that beginning with a headline?
That's a good question. Just like I said, Isle of Palms is really just a magical place that is facing, unfortunately, some big environmental issues.
Sure.
But that I think has a really engaged community that is going to come together to solve them together.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Well, Councilmember Susan Hill Smith, thank you so much for your time. And again, Welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you. It's great to be here with you.
Likewise. Yes, ma'am.